So we are looking forward to the RAC TT Celebration, and this is how the grid lines up. On that pole position, we've got Bill Shepherd. He'll be starting. Jenson Button will be starting from the front row as well. Rupert Cleverley alongside. Then a couple of AC Cobras on the second row. Sean Lynn and Andrew Smith on the third row. We have the Lister Jaguar of Frederick Wakeman with Richard Mains and Guy Smith alongside. And further back, we've then got the car shared by Marino Franchitti and Philip Kaduri and Saif Assam and Andy Prio. Further down the order, we've got a mixture of E-types and Cobras. As you can see, the Jaguar E-type lightweight Tiff Needell. That car is being started by John Spears from 14th place. And then we get down a little further to some of the big American cars, the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, for example, back in 19th and 20th places. And then as we go down to the last part of the grid, sadly I can tell you the Ferrari 250 LM number 77, 25th on the grid it was due to be, is not going to be starting this race, which is a bit of a shame. But otherwise we will see plenty of cars out there ready to go racing and give us some good entertainment. Here they are then, already coming along to the grid. There is the pole sitter, the man who will hope to lead down into the first corner, Bill Shepherd, a veteran racer who is really keyed up for this event. He's sharing the car with Romain Dumas, a true professional, double winner of Le Mans, a Porsche factory driver for many years. He will be taking over in a while. Jenson Button starting from the middle of the front row, the 2009 Formula One world champion, a man who raced 306 Grand Prix in his career. That's the onboard view from Jenson Button, man who had 50 podiums in Formula One and that all-important title that went his way. Well, he's going to have some fun and games in this. And alongside on the front row, Rupert Cleverley in the Jaguar E-type, another E-type. So it's one AC Cobra on pole position, two E-types alongside. That's the Rupert Cleverley car. And then behind them, two more of the ACs with Sean Lynn and Andrew Smith right behind. They're sharing with Jimmie Johnson and with Gordon Shedden.
Green flag at the back then. When we see that raised in the air, we are just about ready for the 1 hour race. The RAC Automobile Club TT Celebration.
Engines rev, the flag waves, and we're racing. And what a great start by the pole man. That was brilliant. Bill Shepherd launches into the lead. Jenson Button is in second position as they head round into the first corner. Good start by Sean Lynn in the red number 13 as well. He may well be up there in third, but that was a great getaway in the Cobra.
Absolutely got his back on, but straight away Jenson Button look for the inside as they go through Medwick. Now it's down to flat out through here, just about, I would suggest, but it is Jenson Button who's stolen a march on them all. Got to say that Cobra got away perfect. It wouldn't have been a better start than that, but Button has got himself into the lead.
Up on the outside there, Guy Smith in that blue TVR. He's having a good little launch, so you've got a big mixture of cars going on here, and we are looking back now from Jenson Button's car. So look at how he's trying to open up that lead over the AC Cobra, and that's the battle that's going on for third place in particular at the moment. Sean Lynn in the red AC Cobra number 13, the car he's sharing with Jimmie Johnson. That's having quite a feisty battle with Andrew Smith. They were together on the second row of the grid.
Yeah, brilliant start from the second row of the grid. But look at the 86 coming through now. Watch out for the... is it Guy Smith, I think it is, that's in the 86 car. So Guy Smith, he'll be looking for a way around the outside, and that's a tough part of the track as he's forced them down onto the white line. Still he stays on the outside. Just about enough room. Martin Donnelly, the race, should we say, overseer for Stewart, won't be needed just yet.
No, that was clean, wasn't it? That was a good move by Guy Smith in that TVR. The only TVR that we've got in the mix here, but it's going well. Further down the field, it looks as though we've had a good clean first lap. I have to say, seen no incidents. Everybody has made it around. Up front, very good start obviously by the pole man, but he was then passed on that opening lap by Jenson Button, and Button has got a lead of 2.4 seconds already. Jenson's really opened up an advantage. He's done a 1 minute 30.9 on that opening lap, so it has made for a big start. Meanwhile, the TVR's on the attack once again, finding a way past Sean Lynn. So Smith is now got himself up into third place. That's a good effort.
Oh, that was tight.
It was tight. That was Philip Kaduri in the number 8 AC Cobra trying to squeeze in there as well. But now we've got the others battling. Sean Lynn in the red machine. Behind him, you've got Andrew Smith in the more cream-coloured car. And then behind is Philip Kaduri, who I mentioned. He almost got involved in that battle just then, but backed out just in time. But I tell you what, that TVR is flying. Guy Smith has got a chance of going for second place now.
Yeah, pick your favourite moment at the moment. The 79 car I've been keeping an eye on. That, of course, started off with Andrew Smith and fifth qualifier. He's looking good in fifth place at the moment. But you're right, the 86 car making it work very hard. Guy Smith qualified in 8th place, or the team duo qualified in 8th place, but he's looking very feisty in his early laps. But we've got a long way to go. There's still 57 minutes of this race to go. Next lap, 1:23.952 by Button. Button by far and away the fastest man. It's a 5.9-second lead he now has over Shepard.
So we're on board with Philip Kaduri here. He's still in that fight amongst the AC Cobras. He's running in 6th place at the moment, and he's putting a little bit of pressure on Andrew Smith. He's going to have a little look on the inside. Can't quite make it.
And that shocked even the onboard dashboard ornament, I felt.
Yeah, that's great to see that on there, isn't it? But he's still trying. Into St Mary's. This is a right followed by a tighter left. A little bit of braking before he goes into the left-hander. Eases the throttle on. Still gets a bit of oversteer, has to correct and holds it. That
compression there just about gathers it all up when you get the other side of it, digs the tyres in for a bit more grip. Looking at the 8 car, of course, of Philip Kaduri at the moment, 9th qualifier for him, but driving it very, very well indeed. Got a little bit of space now to open it up.
Yeah, he's still chasing down those other Cobras. Behind, not far behind, is the Alex Brundle car as well. Actually, no, it wasn't the Alex Brundle, sorry, it was the Frederick Wakeman car. That's the car he's sharing with Tom Christensen. But this is the fight for second place. So Guy Smith here, in a historic TVR, a 2-time winner of the Spa 6-hour race, that particular car.
Yeah, and Coleman in front of him was just a little defensive in a couple of places, which gave Smith that opportunity to close him down.
Kicking up a bit of dust from the grass, those Cobras behind. Here comes Guy Smith then.
Again, defensive into Madwick.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have to work at this, but Guy is such an experienced racer. He won the Le Mans 24-hour race in 2003 with Bentley, with Tom Christensen and Ronaldo Capella. He's got a chance up the inside, but just has to block. He's blocked effectively, so he has to back off. Now he might have another chance up towards St Mary's. He's got the inside line. Yeah, he's done it. He's into second.
Yeah, he's looked good. He's been lining that one up for the last lap. There's no doubt about it. He had that little bit more pace, but he also had the pleasure of not having to defend from someone attacking behind. He can take the perfect line and get the run out of the corner onto the straight and keep the thing lit up. Oh, that's a shame for the 11 car. That's Niklas Didding, is it? That's just out there. 26 qualifier, the Jaguar Woo 2, it said on the number plate, and not Woo Hoo.
Yeah, that is a shame. Nicholas Ditting, as you say, sharing that car with Jochen Mass, who was looking very relaxed earlier on when we saw him. But that car, as you say, started down in 26th, and it looks as though it may be the end of the race for them.
Yellow flags now at the chicane, so careful as you go through here.
Still the battle going on for second place. So Guy Smith, who's taken second in the blue TVR, he's not able to escape just yet. Bill Shepard is holding on to third place in the pale green AC Cobras, still chased along the way by the other Cobras behind. In fact, interestingly, that Andrew Smith has sort of gained some ground there. Sean Lynn in the number 13 car there, he's dropped back a little bit from where he was, and he's now under increasing pressure from Philip Kaduri.
Yeah, Philip Kaduri is looking good, putting himself in a good position as a team effort.
He's got past.
He has indeed. It looked like it was too sideways to be able to carry that momentum, but no, he's through in the number 8 car. So, a bit more room in front of him now to settle in before he attacks his next rival. Here it comes again, big slide, but it didn't seem to hold him up. He still managed to get this thing, the drive, as the front right wheel is off the ground. He doesn't need all four when he's powering it sideways.
Lovely view.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the Lister going through as well, the 17 car. That's an unusual looking car, but fast nonetheless. Yeah, Frederick Wakeman, he's currently in 7th place. He'll be handing over to Tom Christensen in a while. So the number 11 car actually has fired up. Are they going to get it back out? Looks as though they will. Nicholas Ditting is we're
coming
going to have
out.
A safety car, I'm told, from my ears, but gets it out the way.
Yeah,
if we've got a safety car, well, that's brilliant as far as everyone's concerned, except Jenson Button, because all the hard work that he's just done is about to get used up with the safety car as they all close in behind him.
Yeah, and
there it is. The Porsche comes out. Jenson Button slows down. It will be Button to restart this race, of course, from where he is. But all that work, what was it, 13-second lead, is about to be done over with. 13.5-second lead, a 1:23.952 fastest lap by Button. But all that work that he's done, and that is these kind of endurance races, isn't it? It can all come undone.
So maybe a fairly short safety car period, because they decided to go for the safety car. They hadn't managed to get the E-type out of the way, and then almost at the same time they had to make that choice. It was the right thing to do, but just at that moment they got it fired up and got it back on the road. So.
Now, if this was a professional race, you would be arguing that with the stewards.
This happened under safety car, I think. I'm just wondering. I think actually it might have reversed before the safety car. I think that what had happened is probably the Cobra had overtaken because Guy Smith was already up into second place. So I think that probably had happened just before, so he's handed it back again. So up front at the moment is Jenson Button, but the gap is much reduced.
.51 minutes and 25 seconds left of this race. Then we are under a safety car situation. It'll probably only be one lap. That's enough to give us all a race here at trackside. So here we are at the Goodwood Revival. This is the RAC TT Celebration, and it has just been put right amongst the pigeons, that particular cat, because Jenson Button, his 13-second lead has been cut to virtually nothing, and he will now have to do all that work again before he hands over to Harrison Newey.
Yeah, that's right. Still plenty of time to go in this race. But as you say, they'll all start again, effectively. We go back to zero. Although some have moved up quite well in this grid, because Guy Smith, who's running second now, he started 8th on the grid. He will be handing over to Mike Whitaker, who was actually a winner yesterday in another race. And Mike can be pretty rapid.
But Ben, you've got to look at the time. Button 1:23.9, his fastest lap. Smith 1:27.1. Everyone else is in 27s and 28s. I mean, Jenson Button showing his class there. You don't get to be 4 seconds a lap quicker than everyone else in the field if you're not a bit good.
You're riding on board with Jenson Button in this genuine factory lightweight E-type. There weren't that many produced, but it is certainly working well for him. Green flag, and we are back to racing, and Jenson immediately launches it off the line, and then we've got a battle for third place going on. Bill Shepherd, who had pole early on, being passed, and that has dropped him to 4th position. They're racing again. Jenson Button has managed to just ease out. As the green flag came out, he just accelerated away, and Jenson opening up the gap with Guy Smith in 2nd place.
Yeah, but it's the man in 3rd place, the 79 car, that took advantage of that restart. There's no doubt about it. So the 79 of Andrew Smith making that move and getting past your pole sitter, the 47 car, in all sorts of trouble now. So Bill Shepherd, who started this race from pole, now finds himself back in 4th place.
Yeah, Philip Kaduri there behind him is putting some pressure. You're riding on board with Philip. So let's sit and watch and see how this is. Oversteer coming out of the corner, correcting it. Now, this is a long, flat-out section. You see how he changes up through the gears. His foot is flat on the throttle right now. And then just listen up. He has to brake down at the end. See where he brakes? There. Okay, he's on the brakes, down through the gears, and that's a key area around the track to try and gain some time. Now, the number 32 E-type chasing the number 7 car. So this is for 9th place. That's a little further down the order between these, but that is the car. Philip Kaduri, as you see, he's trying to close up to the car that was on pole position, the number 47 of Bill Shepherd. And Bill did lose out, as you said, Keith, on that restart. He's fighting the steering wheel a bit too.
I was going to say, the amount of work going on there, I just crashed my commentary room chair a moment ago watching them work so hard. Here's Button pulling away now. 3.1 second lead in the opening lap to get back where he needed to be, but that safety car cost him dearly, but he's got the pace to pull away. 1:23.9 was his last lap. 1:26.0 was Smith's time last.
Lovely view, both looking forwards and looking back from Jenson. He's just put in a fastest lap, another fastest lap, a 1:23.9. So he's opening up that gap, as there you see Guy Smith in 2nd place.
Great thing about tyres, we heard Romain Dumas talking about the tyres. He sounded a little bit disconcerted with the fact that they are quite hard and they're going to run the whole distance, but they work really well. It means that Button still has the same kind of grip underneath him he had at the start.
Yeah, they had a chance to cool them down, that's right. So Guy Smith running second in the TVR, ahead of the next AC Cobra.
Did I just see a little smoke maybe from the 79 car then? I hope I'm not seeing anything bad on him, but certainly maybe it was tyre smoke. There's plenty of that going on as far as the big cars are concerned. At the chicane, great overhead this. It gives you some impression of who's good on the brakes, who's good through Whitaker particularly, and then on the brakes down into the chicane, and who gets to drive out onto the front straight here. It's a great camera.
Yeah, great stuff. Guy Smith is holding that second place nicely. We've got a little battle further back going on here. Alex Brundle in and battling away with Frederik Wakeman. And these two are fighting for 7th place. So Wakeman is in that number 17 car, the Lister Jaguar, very elegant little machine. And then the other AC Cobra with Alex Brundle, son of Martin Brundle, and a very experienced professional racer himself. And you can see that
he's working hard, that's for sure, in the snake-eyed Cobra. Unbelievable. The 94 then working exceedingly hard. There's nothing seemingly too smooth about the way that you keep these things driving forward. A little bit of brake, a little bit of drift, down into the compression. Here's the pole sitter, the 47 car goes through, looking back at the number 13, who's looked pretty good, but it's dropped to 6th now for Lynn.
Yes, that's not gone quite so well, according to plan. And we'll just have to see how it develops. But Alex Brundle is trying to put a bit more pressure on, as you say. Definitely dropping away just a little bit for Sean Lynn in the red Cobra, number 13. Meanwhile, this battle, and that's interesting because you can see that Kuduri has got ahead of the number 79 car of Andrew Smith. We gather that Andrew made a little error early around the lap, so the cream-coloured Cobra has dropped back a place there as the red and white one now comes under pressure from a Lister Jaguar and from another Cobra, that of Alex Brundle. The race leader, though, is Jenson Button by a big margin.
Little skirmishes all the way around this track, and I think that's the interesting thing for fans here. Here is Jenson Button then with 45 minutes and 27 seconds to go. He has done a brilliant job of pulling away. 8.4 at the line last time, 1:23.799, another fastest lap on that 8th lap. So he is working really well.
I love watching this on board, I have to say, because Jenson, I want to see his style. He has such a smooth style, doesn't he?
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday during qualifying, because it looked a bit un-Jenson Button. He was soaring away at the thing, but Jenson, he's a fingertip driver, isn't he? Very smooth everywhere you watch him. Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's just watch him come down the end of the straight here onto the brakes. This is a tricky area. You've got to get the braking sorted, it go in, a little bit of float on the rear end, as you can see, turn it in, get the power on now. That's lovely, very smooth and neat. Sometimes we see cars getting more sideways through the chicane.
Comes up quick though, that chicane, doesn't it?
It does. He continues around for another lap. We're not into pit lane open zone just yet, but he is comfortably leading this race. But drivers are beginning to get prepared down
already
in the pits.
Well, this in the main, this will be the star drivers. Here we go, the 79 car up the inside of the number 8 car. So up has gone Andrew Smith on the 8 of Philip Kuduri.
Yeah.
Made the move and made it stick just about, and they're both chasing the 40. Oh no, the 79's gone in front of the 47 as well.
Yeah, so he's getting back the time he lost. So he made a mistake somewhere, which we didn't quite see, but he has now regained that lost time, and that means that Bill Shepherd there, who started from pole position, will be handing over to Romain Dumas. He has now found himself dropped another position.
Strategically, you would want to go early if you thought you were not the faster of the two drivers. There will be that window that comes open fairly soon, and there may be a driver or two diving for pit lane, and then you've got to be careful. 20 miles an hour is all it is in pit lane. Very difficult to judge, and onboard computers, if you like, as in the rev counter, sometimes you can get that wrong at that lower speed. Very difficult to manage.
There's a nice little race going on further down the order between the Stingray, car number 4, and that is that's Benoit Trelouillet in the car actually at the moment. So Benoit Trelouillet having a really good fight for the moment. This is for 10th position.
Yeah, Richard Kent just grabbed it from him. So Richard Kent in the Jaguar has gone through. And decided to cut some of the Duke of Richmond's grass at the same time.
Works well, though, doesn't it?
Too well, I think.
But it's not over yet for...
His number plate is cut.
Yeah, not over yet for Trelouillet to come back because he's looking pretty rapid. Let's have another look at the Cobra battle.
Oh, have some of that. That's going to be difficult.
Kuduri
That reminds me of yesterday's NASCAR driver at that corner as well, I think, when Jimmie Johnson decided to do something similar.
We're back on board with him, so he's got away with it. But we've seen how hard he is working at the steering wheel, and we've got a...
Oh, that's a disaster. That is awful. So the 78 Rupert Cleverley has just gone off. The third place qualifier. Is that a mechanical as well, I wonder, the 78 car?
He's had a spin, I gather, at Whitaker. Let's have a look. See how it went wrong for him.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Was
did
there
he get
contact?
nudged? Was he
was there
assisted with that?
Not sure.
Maybe he stalled it while he was trying to gather it up, and he's got to get the thing started now. Lucky there is some runoff with tarmac there, which is a rare thing around here. So he's got it going again. So then we'll see how he recovers from that. But that's dropped him way down the order again.
Yeah, that's a great shame for a car that started on the front row of the grid.
Yeah, work to do now.
Yeah, definitely.
44 car behind him. I think that's driven by David Clark. 29th qualifier. Here is Jenson Button. Jenson Button goes through again then. 1:23.799. It was a 24.5 last time around. So he now is cruising. He has... What does he have as far as a lead is concerned over the rest? I'm waiting for it's a long time waiting for Smith to come through. And when he does, our monitor will change. It's a big lead that Button has now. That's 17.8 seconds. Jenson Button absolutely has set a fire under that Jaguar.
Yeah, he's in a completely different league to the others at the moment. And I've got to say that when Harrison Newey takes over, he's going, oh, look at this. This is great. Look at Alex Brundle on the outside. Alex Brundle has managed to fight his way around the outside, but it's not all over yet because Frederick Wakeman does not want to give up. They're still side by side.
Well, it looks a bit lively, Brundle's car, I've got to say, suspension-wise, and the Lister just looks a little bit more cool, calm and collected, and he's nicked the place, hasn't he? So through has gone the 17 and Freddie Wakeman.
That's for 7th place, so it's an important position because they're well up inside the top 10. Who knows what's going to happen when we get into the pit stops? But Alex thought he had that position. Now it's not quite worked. Frederick Wakeman is still ahead, so he's in 7th. Brundle is in 8th place. Behind them, we've got the number 32 car. There's a little bit further back of Andrew Haddon, who'll be handing over to Steve Soper in a little while.
20 minutes of this race done now then, so we're into the significant part of this race now. The lead that Button had last time around, just as a reminder, 17.8 seconds. He's crossed the line already. Let's see how long we've got to wait before the second place car comes through. The number 86 car of Guy Smith, remember, another professional driver that's out there. Still we wait, and he still hasn't come to the line yet to trip the monitor here and the timing beam.
Pit lane window has just opened. So
and there it is, 20.6 seconds now.
Oh,
as the lead. Button is just blasting away.
We've got a pit stop already for the Lister Jaguar. So Frederick Wakeman coming in perfectly as early as possible. And the Cobra, actually, that we saw of Andrew Smith. He's now handed over to Gordon Shedden, the multiple British touring car champion, is in the car now. And as we saw, Tom Christensen getting ready to get on board.
Yeah, you want to get your professional driver in as soon as you can.
Marino Franchitti here getting on board the Philip Kadui car.
This is what takes the time to get everything strapped in properly. It was interesting listening yesterday to Jochen Mass saying he's not in this race now. Of course, the car has been withdrawn after an incident early on in the race, but Jochen Mass was saying it's easier to get in the car than it is to get out of it, because I think he's got a little bit extra in the way of pounds now. Excuse me, Jochen.
Let's see whether Jenson's going to come in yet, or whether he's going to stay out there for a little bit longer. He's got such tremendous pace as it is, but he is heading in.
He's in. Indeed he is. Get it down to 20 mile an hour. Otherwise, you'll lose the 20-second lead you've got by a penalty if you go over 20 miles an hour. And Harrison Newey will be the next man in. This is going to be tricky to find a gap to turn into and then turn out of. It's a very tight pit, of course, here. Very old-fashioned.
It's good, though, because where they were planning to be, it works well for them. So Harrison Newey ready. Yeah, don't leave it in gear, Jenson.
That would be embarrassing.
That would have been a bit embarrassing. Leave it in gear. It stalls in the pit lane. But thankfully, that didn't happen.
Yeah, look at this. Harrison Newey gets himself strapped straight back in. He's another young man that fits the car. So the second place man is in as well. This is going to be another change of drive. A little bit of seat padding pulled out of the chair just to make a bit room for a slightly longer driver.
Mike Whitaker taking over from Guy Smith in the number 86 TVR, the car that was running in second place. Guy had a really good early stint, but out comes the car that was leading before all the stops began.
And Harrison is quick as well, don't we? He looked fast in qualifying as well. Jenson Button may have been fractionally quicker, but Harrison Newey knows this car well.
Yeah, he will be fast in this machine, there's no doubt. But let's just wait and see how the rest of the pit stops go as well. For now, what it has done is handed the lead to Alex Brundle in the car that he should. That's one, the very distinctive looking AC Cobra looking at you on camera. And there is Alex Brundle. We can look at him, and he's still working hard at the wheel. But bear in mind that when he makes his pit stop, it will of course drop him back down the order a bit, but they will still be fighting all the way. And Bobby Verdon-Rose, extremely rapid in this car. It is his car, but he was a top racer when he was semi-professional. He was a professional racer for a while, decided to give up racing, but he was very quick, and he is still fast in the historics.
Jenson Button, his stint was 2 seconds faster than Guy Smith, the second fastest man out there. That gives you the idea of the quality of Button's laps.
So let's see, is he going to be coming in? No, he's... Yes, he is. Sorry, yes, he's right over the white line, so he is coming in.
Sounded like he had a pit lane limiter on the car, which is quite interesting. Here we go, pole man on the left-hand side, the 47 car, and that was Guy Smith's vehicle on the right-hand side.
So Romain Dumas has retaken the place from the TVR. Mike Whitaker could not quite match the pace that Romain Dumas has got in that car and had set pole position. So now Alex Brundle is helping Bobby Verdon-Rose get fitted into the car.
This is going to be the test now that Romain Dumas is out on track. It's going to be interesting to see how these laps develop over the next 36. Oh, there we go. Harrison is out. Harrison Newey has come out of the race. That's the end of the challenge. Wow, 36 minutes left of this race. And something has happened to that lightweight Jaguar. Harrison Newey out of the car. What a disaster. Oh, it's overheated. It's got too hot, maybe in pit lane. Well, that is a huge shame. Let's have a look at the replay. So, coming down, that was one lap. He'd come out of the pits, he's completed a lap, and he's pulled over immediately. And as you say, maybe it's temperature or something he's read on the gauges. Can't see the gauges well enough to be able to see that.
Let's have a listen.
Out of gear, so we've lost the powertrain. Yeah, he's lost the powertrain, so that's final drive has gone out of that. It's not the gearbox itself, it's probably a final drive that's just finished with, so that has been stressed enough. Well, Jenson, you were the fastest man out there with that 1:23.7. Probably put a little bit too much effort through the drivetrain, and
how sad for Harrison when he had that chance. You know, he must have been really keyed up for that. But poor Jenson, he's done a stunning job in that first part, but it's all over for them. What a great pity. They are not going to be the winners of the 2022 RAC TT Celebration.
That's what you get in a TT type race, isn't it? As long as you've got, you know, an hour-long race, anything can happen, and it just has for that particular E-type.
I'll tell you what, though, we are going to get a race out of this, as ever, because we now have an interesting...
Oh, and the 86 is off as well now. Oh, dear me, that's a disaster. So the car originally driven by Guy Smith in the first stint finds itself backed into the tyre wall, and that was a car that you could, now that Button and Harrison Newey are out, you might have expected to be right in there at the end, but it's not. Let's have a safety car because of the barrier, you know. If that barrier has been displaced, if the tyres have been pulled out of there for safety reasons, they may have to run under a full course yellow and stick out a safety car.
He's staying out there. I wonder if there's going to be, because the bodywork actually isn't too badly damaged. It's rubbed along the tyres. You can see the marks.
It is safety car. There's a safety car in front of it. Yeah, so the Porsche is out.
So they have slowed the field down once again.
That may be just so they can look at the barrier to make sure it's still working okay.
Well, let's go down to the man who led the early stages. Jenson Button is talking to David.
Jenson, what a shame. Such a brilliant first stint.
Yeah, it was really good fun. I mean, it's amazing. The car was just working really well. It's so nice to balance the car around here, and what an amazing job Adrian's done with it. It's a stunning work of art, the car. So a lot of fun to drive, but it's you know, you still get degradation through a stint though. So after 3 laps already, the rears started going, sliding around all over the place, and I'm trying not to hurt the rears, but it's tricky in this. You want to go as fast as you can, so it was fun. But yeah, it's a shame that Harry's got in the car and we've had an issue. So
any idea what it might be just yet?
No, I mean, he was shifting, so and then went into 4th and went back into 3rd, so it's a guess, but I'm guessing probably something to do with the gearbox.
You seem to have the perfect first start. You've got past Bill down into Ford water, and then you just built up such a massive lead. I think it was 14, 15 seconds, and then the safety car, you must have heart must have sank at that point.
Yeah, two things. I mean, one, obviously, you want to keep the lead, but it was actually quite nice because it helped the tyres cool down and the brakes cool down, so then I could have another push and could go with it. So it's really good fun and such a great event. It's lovely. Yeah, obviously you want to win, and that's the whole aim for the team. Building such a great car and us two pushing as hard as we can, but it doesn't always happen, as we know in motor racing. But we gave it a good shot, and we've enjoyed the weekend thoroughly.
Well, you haven't had much seat time in that car, but you certainly seem to get the hang of it there, and you were flying along.
Yeah, I mean, it's we didn't drive before we got here, so we're both new. Well, Harry's new to Goodwood and I'm new to the car, so yeah, but when you get in a car that gives you confidence, you can push it hard, and I'm one of those drivers that if I don't have confidence in the car, I don't do very well, so confidence, and then I definitely get the best out of myself.
Well, into the second stint, you were 20 seconds ahead when you came into here. It was all looking good, but so it's not to be for today, but at least you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And with these cars as well, you have to be a little bit careful with the gear shift and being gentle through the stint, which I was. But we've also got to remember they're from the 1960s, so West racing drivers always want to push them harder than they're supposed to go. But hey,
best of luck next time.
Yeah, best of luck next time, Jenson. Thank you, David. And a great shame that this car has gone out of the race after putting in such a brilliant display in the first part. The marshals rushing down, doing a fantastic job as ever to get the car out of the way. Now let's just have a look at the incident that caused the safety car here, Keith. And we're looking at the blue TVR.
Yeah, he's just lost it all on his own, hasn't he, on the way in? We see it often, that drift in there, and that was a similar... Yeah, he did glance it, but I don't think he's actually done that much damage to the barrier. So it'll be a safety car just for checking the state of the barrier. Didn't we see Jimmie Johnson do something very similar to that yesterday? Oh, it has actually taken the conveyor belt that's in front of the tyres away from the tyres.
Yeah.
So they will have to fix that, and that will take some time, because you can see the foam pads that they dropped down inside the tyres as well, just to give you that little bit more. It's very, very tricky indeed. Now then, one man that must be very unhappy to see his E-type parked at the side, of course, is Adrian Newey.
Adrian, it was all going so well.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I mean, Jenson is doing a great job. The car seemed to be going well, but it looks like, just watching the onboard, it looks as if Harry had a gearbox problem. So frustrating, but there we are.
Unfortunately, not too much seat time for him today.
No, unfortunately not. Yeah, we've kind of. Well, what can I say? It's motor racing.
It's always frustrating, but the car was going well, so it was looking good for you guys.
Yeah, it was looking very good for a while, so I guess it's the usual thing next year now.
Well, you look at least just smiling. You've had a good weekend so far?
Yeah, no, it's always a lovely weekend here, so the car's in one piece. It looks like it probably needs a new gearbox, but other than that, all's good.
And you're wearing the Graham Hill lapel badge there?
Yeah, so I've been out in the Graham Hill celebration in my latest 49, so only seemed appropriate. It's a lapel badge that Damon gave me some time ago when I race engineered him in '96, so yeah.
Well, commiserations today for Harrison and the team, but better luck next time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, a disappointment for Adrian Newey, whose car it is that has failed, with his son there, who only got to do a lap, or just about a lap anyway, from pit exit to pit exit was where he pulled over. But that's the way it goes, and as he said, that's motor racing. So they haven't had quite the same reliability issues. They did at the beginning of the year with the Red Bull, but it's been quite a reliable machine in recent times, as we've all seen. Thankfully, this time the marshals are getting into fixing that tyre barrier very, very quickly. Hopefully they can get this sorted. It is a bit of work to do, though, so there will be a few moments that we are seeing the cars behind the safety car. The car that's actually officially leading right now, Keith, has not yet made a pit stop. So the car that is leading of those that have made the pit stop is, in fact, the Romain Dumas car. That one of the few up front that didn't have troubles after we had pit stops, because we had Jenson Button's car break down, we had the TVR into the barrier, which is now being repaired. But there's no doubt that they did a good job.
What this does, of course, is close the whole field up again and gives the second driver, which is generally the pro driver, an opportunity to start from a close-in kind of situation. If you take your opportunity to slide into the field in a favourable position and quite close to the front, so second drivers might appreciate that.
Jenson has had a pretty spectacular part to his race. So, yeah, he's chatting. It's nice that they can laugh. It's nice that they're still having a little giggle about what's gone on, but it has not gone according to plan. We've got under half an hour to go in the RAC TT, and it's been a bit of a tough one for Jenson Button on the left and his teammate Harrison Newey, Adrian Newey in the middle there. Let's have a look at what happened at the start. And Keith, this actually wasn't the perfect start off the line, but it was going into the next corner that he brought it all together.
Yeah, he managed Madgwick very well. A little bit of a bobble from the pole sitter as he flew into Madgwick corner, and that he was a little reticent on the way mid-corner, and that gave Jenson the opportunity to get the Jag absolutely wound up, and the big cat just flew down the outside, which I wasn't expecting, I have to say. I thought the poleman had got it covered. It was a brilliant launch from the 47 car, but in the end, Jenson Button just made such a big advantage coming through the foot. They dropped the clutch. Not too much tyre smoke either. That's something you can lose the momentum early doors when you launch from a standing start.
You have to congratulate Bill Shepherd for getting that Cobra off the line so well, though, because he just launched it. It was perfect. But as you say then, Jenson Button just got that pace through the first double apex corner at Madgwick, and it worked well. So they're all having a bit of a chat about it now, and that's understandable. It is disappointing that it's lost its drive, whether it's a gearbox problem or a drive shaft failure, whatever. These things happen. The marshals are still busily fixing up that tyre barrier, which actually, the good old-fashioned tyre barrier did a really good job of absorbing the energy as that TVR went in, because it didn't actually do a huge amount of damage to the TVR. Surprisingly, you didn't see much bent bodywork on it.
I think the only problem with an old-fashioned tyre barrier is it takes longer to sort it out. It takes longer to actually repair an old-fashioned barrier than it does to replace a piece of air fence.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's an old system that works. Of course, bearing in mind that the race is being led at this stage by car number 32 of Andrew Howden and Steve Soper, but it has not yet made a pit stop, and they're not allowed to make a pit stop at the moment because they are behind the safety car. Let's go back down to the pits with David.
Well, I'm here with Harrison. Harrison, you were given the car with a 20-second lead there, and then ended up being quite a short day in the office.
Yeah, very short. I think gearbox just gear went. I came out the last chicane in third and didn't change gear, just ran it up through the revs, and then something broke and just hit the limiter and lost all drive. So engine was fine. Tried going into fourth, still wouldn't drive. So like we can't do the race in fourth and second because the whole gearbox had gone. So
it sounded like from the in-car was a final drive there. Any indication when you got in the car?
I'm not sure if it was final drive, if it was clutch, if it was whole gear. I'm not really sure, but when I went back to the car, there's a bit of smoke in there. So I guess we've lost some gearbox oil somewhere as well, and that was causing a bit of smoke. So maybe a bit of a hole in the side of the gearbox as well. I'm not sure. We'll see when we get it back.
Needless to say, deeply frustrating. It was all looking very good.
Yeah, very frustrating. Jenson did a great job, and I was hoping to get in and just sort of nurse at home, but not to be.
Well, commiserations, and better luck next time. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, we do feel sorry for Harrison Newey, an experienced racer himself. He's raced in the German Touring Car Championship. He's raced Super Formula in Japan. He's raced all sorts over the years. He started out in Formula 4 in the UK in 2014 and was a runner-up in the championship in 2015. He's done a lot of racing. He knows what he's doing. That lead that he had with from Jenson Button, that they were on target for a very comfortable win, I think. But it hasn't happened, and we've now got this group of cars, some of whom have stopped, some haven't. Actually, the top two that are behind the safety car right now haven't stopped yet, but the car that has stopped, that is the lead of the group that has stopped, is the Romain Dumas Bill Shepherd car, number 47. So that is the car that has made a pit stop and is now leading everyone else that has made a pit stop. And I think when we see the other cars coming in up ahead, that will be the overall race leader.
The clock's not stopped. That keeps going, of course. 23.5 minutes left of this RAC TT Celebration, and it's all changed. It will be at the front. We will have a new race leader once everybody does what they should be doing. The track has been repaired. The barriers have been put back in place. The marshals here at Goodwood have done a great job. The Land Rovers will leave the track, the pace car will come in, and we will be back under a green flag situation. There is the blue Porsche pace car, and right behind it, the 32 card of Howden and Soper. And Yellow flags will be pulled in, green flags will be on a full circuit, and we will be back racing with just 22 minutes left of this race. It's going to be a mad scramble for this checkered flag, Ben.
Yeah, it is, that's right. I think Andrew Haddon's probably quite enjoying being out in front and leading the race at the moment, but he knows that he will be coming into the pits. He will be handing over to Steve Soper once the safety car's been released and he's allowed to go on, then that's the plan. And it's also the same for the car right behind him as well, which will also be making a pit stop. And then it's further down the order that we come down towards the car that we believe will be leading once everything is sorted. It's the car moving around a little bit more with the headlights on in the background there. And we do expect Romain Dumas to have the advantage. Meanwhile, just looking at some of the other cars, this one it has made its pit stop, and actually they must have had a problem with it because they had to make a second pit stop. Nicolas Minassien is in the car now. They're in a bit of a group, some cars already having been lapped and others not, but this will all get resolved once the safety car coming in, so we shall see how that goes. Apparently we've also lost the Martin Stretton Jean-Eric Verne car. That has gone into the pits and hasn't come back out again. They started down in 24th place in another of the E-types, so that car doesn't look as though it's going to be rejoining. But yeah, we're happy to say hello, and it's great to see so many of the fans here at the Goodwood Revival enjoying what is potentially going to be a spectacular second half to this race, or less than half. We've still got 21 minutes remaining, and we could have a strong battle up front, mind you, with Romain Dumas in that number 47 AC Cobra, with which he set pole position. Was very rapid through both practice sessions that we saw yesterday. I think it's going to be tough to beat him, but we'll have to see how that goes. The car that is second at the moment, having made a pit stop, is the Gordon Shedden AC Cobra. And we all know that Gordon Shedden is a very rapid driver. We've seen him win many touring car races. Is he going to have the pace to close up that gap? Gordon currently is a few seconds behind, so it's going to be some work for him when the safety car comes back in for this to get underway. Lights are out, we're getting underway, the safety car pulls off, and immediately we're back to racing. So let's just see how this goes. The E-type stays out there for now and remaining in front, but further back everybody will be trying to gain some places.
Turn 1, Ben, is always a bit tricky when you've got to restart because your tyres have cooled just a little bit down. Into Madgwick, it's a daunting corner at the best of times. The lights are on and everybody's home. The 47 car is looking to try and make some pace up and trying to get past the 15 if he can. We'll wait and see.
Further battles going.
78 is still running. It's good to see the 78 car that's still absolutely out on track, because at one point,
yeah,
it looked like there may have been a problem there, but
Rupert Cleagley had that spin, didn't he? But sorted it out. It's now Andre Lotterer in the car.
Yep.
So Andre Lotterer, who is a very experienced, very rapid driver. There's Romain Dumas. Look how he's working that car.
Hard, yes, very hard indeed. Romain Dumas will be looking to try and make as many passes as quickly as he possibly can here.
But Gordon Shedden, I don't think is too far back. We'll just keep your eyes open for the Gordon Shedden. Yeah, it's not far. There it is. Look, number 79. That is the car that has also made the pit stop with a professional driver at the wheel. He is not far behind. We could be on for quite a battle between these two.
Using all of the track and a bit more. That is so Shedden, isn't it, at the end of the day? He's out on the grass. It's dry and it's got grip still, the grass here. Yesterday it was a little bit on the dab side. Not today, though. You can find some grip out there, or at least to save the car from going fenceward.
He only just overtook his old teammate Matt Neal a moment ago. Matt Neal's running up in 5th place now. He just dropped that place. But Shedden moving up, yeah.
Really closing it down into the chicane. Shedden's on the move, there's no doubting it. Looking at the lap times, I'm trying to see who may have an advantage here somewhere. The early 26, the 44 car looks like that's just about to rejoin.
Race leader, yeah, coming in. So the official race leader has now come in for the pit stop, and I think we're seeing any other cars now, yes, making their pit stops. They've got to get that pit stop done. They have added 3 minutes to the race time, so we're still got 21 minutes to go now, even though I said that a little while ago, but that was an official addition. 3 minutes added to the race time to allow for a bit more battling to go on here.
78 trying to make up a little bit of ground after that spin earlier on, so the 78 car is looking the third qualifier as well. I forgot that. Cleagley having had that off. Now it's his co-driver that's out.
Andre Lotterer, yeah.
Lotterer is fast. He's had good pace yesterday in qualifying as well. Also in that third place.
Watch the number 13 Cobra, which is just up ahead of him, I think, Jimmie Johnson. But this is the battle for the lead effectively now between the two Cobras, the green number 47 and the cream number 79 car, with Romain Dumas coming under more pressure from Gordon Shedden. Shedden's got a real opportunity here as they're lapping one of the Stingrays.
And they've got a few more people they're going to be lapping fairly soon. So this is about lap traffic. The blue flag will be waved furiously. And of course you can get caught out on the wrong part of the track. This is about track craft as much as anything for these pro drivers, to try and protect their position and not get themselves suckered into a place where they don't want to be and lose momentum.
Marcel Fassler is in that Stingray. He's not fighting for position, so presumably he's going to let the leaders come through as they head up towards Madgewick Corner. Certainly the first one gets through. Now Gordon Shedden trying to sneak through on the inside, but just gives it a little bit of space. He's being cautious there a little bit, understandably. It's on the exit. If you get the good exit here, then it should be a fairly straightforward pass. Stingray's quick in a straight line, but the Cobra's got the cornering pace.
That would have been one of those frustrating type passes where you think you've got it done because you've got the momentum out of the corner, and suddenly the Stingray gets round up, and it ain't quite as easy as you thought it would be. But he's through now, and he's back on the charge, chasing the 47.
Let's see whether he can make up any more ground.
It'll be tricky. Look at how much traffic they've got to get through.
Yeah, that is all part. Oh, my goodness, Shedden.
Yeah, he knows how to swing it sideways, doesn't he?
Well, that flicked on him, I think, more than he was expecting there, as he had to get out of the way of the car up ahead of him. Maybe hit the brake.
Cat.
Yeah, he did well there. That was great car control, and he's still in the chase. So those two fighting for the lead with under 20 minutes to go after we've lost the car of Jenson Button and Harrison Newey when they had what seemed to be a very big advantage. Now we've got a much, much closer battle between the two AC Cobras.
Every pro driver will think they can win a race. There's no doubt about it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the race. But to see Jenson Button and Harrison Newey out of this race, the emphasis now is a lot closer.
Marino Franchitti is running in third place, just a bit further down the order in car number 8. He's got his lights ablaze as well, I can see in the background. Actually, Christensen is, Tom Christensen is ahead of him up into third place, and then Marino Franchitti, so we can just see them in the background. Still no change up front, though. Romain Dumas is just about controlling it there with the lights on. The first of the two cars with the lights on is Tom Christensen in the Lister Jaguar. He's got ahead of that Stingray, and then behind the silver car. And we've got a car that has come to a halt.
Landed in the wrong place there. He spun out, but he's still going, so he will be able to rejoin. There'll be yellow flags. That's the 15 car of, originally Nick Padmore, but it's now, yes.
So, yeah, that hasn't worked out for them, but hopefully they can get going once again. And meanwhile, the leaders are still going past. A little wave of the hand there from the E-type as the leaders go past and overtake, but it does work out for them, and they are now chasing their way down the left-hand straight.
That should have been Nick Miasnian in that E-type, I would have thought, by now. One of the drivers I've been keeping an eye on is Andy Priaulx. Andy Priaulx, 8th place at the moment. We know that he is the kind of guy that works very well in a longer race. Let's see if he's got the pace to try and close it down from 8th place as well.
Yeah, could be a good point. But look how close Gordon Shedden is now. So the number 79 car chasing down the race leader, number 47. They are still lapping plenty of vehicles here, which gives opportunities, can also block things sometimes.
So unlucky for the 79. He has that same, Gordon Shedden has the same problem at the same corner. Just second place to a back marker, and that catches it out terribly for him. And he's going to have a real struggle here because it's got the horsepower to stay in front of him down a little straight that we just zapped down. So Shedden through again, but he's got work to do yet again.
On that last lap, behind them, Tom Christensen in the number 17 Lister Jaguar was a second faster. So he is closing in on this. This is not just a two-way battle. Tom Christensen put together a really good lap in the background. But look at this, Gordon Shedden's as close as possible. Does he go for it? No. He decides to just follow through as he comes through Levant Corner and on to the long flat-out section.
Means and Huff, that pairing, we've just seen the fastest lap, 26.2 on that last lap, was another car completely that's working its way from 6th place at the minute. So if it can keep that pace up as well, as we might have a pass in a moment, because certainly this is getting pretty hectic. They will come down side by side, but the pole sitter is on the inside, which you've got to say favours him.
Yeah, Gordon Shedden is being brave, but not overly brave, and he decides to just...
Called intimidation.
Yeah, this is great stuff between two such experienced drivers, but I wonder if they've ever had a race quite as strong as this in these kind of cars. Romain Dumas has had plenty, they both have plenty of experience here at Goodwood, but they are battling for the lead right now, which is
Dumas, though, a little bit defensive into there, and I've got the feeling that Shedden was fast through here. He looks very, very quick through this sector. Christensen is right up there in the Lister Jaguar as well. He's not out of it by any means. Look at this, Shedden all over the rear end of that leading car. Will he be able to make the pass? He's certainly looking like he's going to push and shove.
I'll tell you what, also Jimmie Johnson's running well in 4th place, but here we go, Gordon Shedden's nearly getting alongside. Can he do it? Not quite. And Romain Dumas just fends him off for the moment, but look how much closer Tom Christensen's getting to both of them now. He's right up there with the 2 AC Cobras in that delightful, elegant little Lister Jaguar. And now he's going to play the game.
Lister Jaguar looks that little bit more composed on the track as well. It looks like it's got more to give. Maybe late on in this race, that slightly, it looks to me, slightly better balanced Jaguar is going to be a real competitor against these two out front. Who's it going to be? Look at this line of stern. We've got a freight train of fast cars.
Yeah, now you've got to play the game both ways. The Gordon Shedden deciding to go for the outside. Once again, he tried the outside last time, but he's later on the brakes this time.
Well,
and he's got into it, but can he hold the apex? Yes, he can. He goes wide, gives plenty of space. Very clean racing, but he does block him off before he goes under braking into the chicane. That was fair.
Did you get the feeling that Christensen was just holding back there in case they tagged each other? It looked to me like he was just a little bit more reticent through Woodcote. Now then,
here comes Dumas coming back at him. Romain Dumas came out of the chicane really well. He had a good exit, and he's into the attack once more as Tom Christensen is joining in.
Well, now he can take the line he likes, I suppose, because he's now the chasing car, but he's got to watch out for Christensen making the move up the inside if he gets an opportunity, because certainly Christensen, to me, looks like the man with the pace here.
In the meantime, Jimmie Johnson in a strong 4th place. Oh, on the grass there, Tom Christensen, but getting it away with it. I mentioned Jimmie Johnson still going well, but Rob Huff behind him is going extremely quickly. Up into 5th place now. He's gained a position on that last lap. Marino Franchitti has dropped a position, so Marino's now down into 6th place as we concentrate on the leaders. And Shedden now in front of Romain Dumas. With right behind the both of them, we've got Tom Christensen, who is determined. Oh no, Christensen's lost it! Wow. Christensen's lost it down there at the Vans. Oh, what a shame, but he doesn't actually hit anything. Oh, but how far back can he get from there? Let's have a look and see what happened here.
Commentator's blight, I think, is what happened when I thought he might have the most composed car. It didn't turn out to be true.
It just got a bit more sideways, and then he corrected almost too much. He's dealt with it well here.
That's what you get when there's grass on the edge. No rumble strips or tarmac at this traditional racetrack. Goodwood is unforgiving if you get it wrong just there, and he has paid in spades. So Shedden has put a lap together, but still it is Romain Dumas who's chasing him in 2nd place. Can he come back? Now that he's not under threat from the Lister Jaguar, I wonder whether Dumas can settle down into a full, using all of the road to try and get back on terms with your race leader.
Christensen has dropped down to 6th place now, just so that we know the man who was running in 3rd and looked like to be a real threat, that Christensen has dropped down into 6th position. So this is the battle for the lead between the top two. And we've got Rob Huff has now gained another. So he's got past Jimmie Johnson. So Rob Huff is now up into 3rd place. And we're on board with Jimmie Johnson. No, sorry, with Marino Franchitti at the moment. Yes, we're on board with Marino Franchitti. Just up ahead of him is Jimmie Johnson. So these two are having a good battle at the moment. Jimmie Johnson at his first Goodwood, the 7-time NASCAR champion. What an amazing experience this must be for him this weekend. Marino Franchitti, a very experienced competitor here at Goodwood. He always adores racing in this classic revival, and he's in a strong 4th place at the moment. But is he close enough? I'm not sure. There is Marino. So that's the view from the outside.
That is the American in front of him. He closes him down in the chicane, that's for sure. So Jimmie Johnson, an absolute legend in America. Racing in IndyCar now and doing pretty well, I've got to say. That transition is not normally done that way from NASCAR to IndyCar, usually IndyCar to NASCAR if you're going anywhere. And here we are again, right on it now. Dumas has closed down. Your race leader, Gordon Shedden. Shedden's got some work to do to keep this man behind for the remaining 11 minutes. We had 3 minutes added to the overall race distance because of the pace car taking up a few laps.
There were a few pit stop penalties handed out, but I don't think it's going to affect too many of the front runners. Oh no, it has actually affected Huff. So Rob Huff is one of the teams that has picked up a 10-second penalty for a less than minimum stop there. It had to be 50 seconds from pit in to pit out. If you went beneath that 50 seconds, you pick up a penalty. And actually the Christensen car as well has picked up a penalty. So has Andy Prio's car. Oh, that's a shame because they are, you know, real front runners, and it has turned out that they have penalties. These two don't, as far as we know. They are still fighting for the lead.
This is really unlucky for Dumas here. He's going to get himself caught behind, down towards the chicane. Can he slide up the inside of the 32 car? Yes, he can. So he wasn't caught at the chicane. So a little fortunate, but then again, fortune favours the brave. Oh, a little bit sideways from Shedden there out of the chicane. He would have left momentum onto this front straight now. So Dumas still got a sniff of your race leader.
10-second penalties applied. It certainly affects things for some of those other rapid drivers, but this is the race for the lead that we've got up front, and you can see how hard Gordon Shedden is still fighting to keep it under control. Let's have another little look down at what happened. Oh, we had another spin down there. Number 14 car going off there. That's the Sunbeam Lister Tiger of Matt Neal. And oh dear, that's not exactly what they would have wanted.
Dumas can smell a win here. He's now pacing himself perfectly with just 9.5 minutes of this 1 hour race, plus 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, Gordon Shedden, you can see the view, great camera shot down there as they come through one of the slower corners. There are not many slow corners here at Goodwood.
It looked all right, a little bit of inside curve being taken there, but it looked to me like Shedden was pushing it really, really to the very edge of things on that last lap. He got a little bit of dust up from the outside of the corners, and I think that the pressure that Dumas is putting him under is beginning to, and I wouldn't say this lightly, because Shedden is never rattled, that's for sure.
So let's have a look. Marino Franchitti gaining the position.
American.
Jimmie Johnson's made a mistake. And he looks in the mirror, says, thank you very much.
A similar mistake to the one he made yesterday in qualifying, Jimmie Johnson.
It is similar, yeah, different place, but similar mistake, you're right. So it just didn't quite work out for Jimmie, and things are dropping away for him, but Gordon Shedden is still leading this race. Two very professional, very successful racing drivers throughout their careers, but they are having a huge fight here right now. And as you said, it sort of feels like Romain Dumas is just saving himself up for the crucial last few laps. He may have the pace.
How many times have we seen Shedden in this kind of position where he's under attack? He knows exactly what to do, where to place that car. Dumas is going to need all his experience to try and get past Shedden, because Shedden knows where to stick that Cobra, and it's going to be, right in front of him. Exit stage right goes the 4 car.
That was a bit of an incident, wasn't it? There's Rob Jarvis in this Stingray.
A bit of a mistake. No, there's yellow flags.
Yeah.
So they will have had yellows. So he backed out of that quite responsibly, and you're not allowed to pass under a yellow. So Dumas was not able to make that pass.
Now, is it just going to be yellows, or are we going to see safety car again? We'll find out shortly. They will be looking into that to see if the car is in a safe place or not. But for now, they can go back to racing, because we're not in a yellow flag area here.
And stages as well, which is going to be really, really... These two are going to be fighting right to the very... This is going to be about a mistake. Who makes the first one?
The car that was off has got going again, so we're not likely to see a safety car.
Thankfully.
Yeah, we're back. We'll continue our racing with just 0.3 of a second between them as they go over the line. Nothing to choose. The Marino Franchitti car is officially in 3rd place now.
This is going to be down to which car is just that little bit better than the other one. I've got a feeling that the two drivers are so well matched as it is at the moment. Which car just has that little bit of an edge over the other one, whether it be in the brakes, whether it be in the corners. It's going to be interesting to see who can maximise. Oh, see, I held my breath for a split second there. It's unbelievable. Dumas there really, really very hot in this part of the track. Dropping down into the compression now. Shedden, it just looks like Shedden is using his tyres that little bit more. It just looks like he's a little bit more crossed up through some of this fast stuff. And at the end of the day, I know these tyres have got a lot of endurance to them, but with Shedden using it quite as hard as he is, will that make the difference? Will that give Dumas the opportunity closing stage-wise.
Yeah, and also maybe lapping slower cars too that will either give opportunity or block the path. We'll have to wait and see on that. As you can see, it always gets a bit tricky. They both managed to get past.
Into the Woodcock corner then. They're both by, you're right. And again, using all of the inside curb as well into the braking area. You're right, I think it will be a back marker that makes the difference. But again, you've said it so many times, Ben, the experience of these two drivers, back markers won't bother them. They'll be able to cut through. It's only the chicane where a back marker becomes a massive problem if you meet them right in the middle of the chicane.
These two have a big lead over the third-place car of Marino Franchitti. He is a further 9 seconds behind, so he's certainly not going to be in the hunt, but he's got a great chance of getting a podium, and that would make him and Philippe Kaduri very, very happy indeed. Well, but who's going to be top stop? We don't know yet.
For a 9th-place qualifier, I would say he'd be quite happy with the podium at the end of this. Yeah. And meanwhile, though, still soaring away at the wheel.
There's some lovely history. I mean, Gordon Shedden, the Scot, who's had so much great winning in British touring cars and other forms of touring cars, driving a car that was prepared in period by Wilkie Wilkinson and a Ecurie Ecosse mechanic. So the Scottish link between him and the car, in a way, goes back many, many years. So can he hold on for the victory here today in the RAC TT, this big event at the Goodwood Revival? Everybody watching on the sidelines at the moment to see who's going to win with just over 4.5 minutes to go. He's actually, for once, just pulled out just a bit of a gap.
That's significant. That's very significant. Whether Dumas has given it his all and can't close Shedden down. Shedden has put that cream-coloured car right where he needs to. I think there's a problem here.
I think there is a problem.
Yeah, definitely. Dumas is pulling out. He's going to be pulling to the left of the chicane.
Oh, what a shame.
So out goes our second-place man. He's given it his all, and now Shedden will roll, surely, with 4 minutes left to go to the checkered flag. He will now take a few revs off the top of that engine. He will take it a little bit easier because he has a massive lead. It's called nearly 20 seconds. Oh no, Franchitti's just gone through. 10 seconds it is between Shedden and Franchitti, who's now in second place.
Yeah, and you're on board with Marino Franchitti, and he is in that second place.
Oh, this is tricky.
He's taken to the grass to get past us. These are the lappings of the cars. He's not fighting them for position as such. The E-type's got its indicator on, but I don't think he is going right.
No, he's probably saying pass to my right. Is he saying pass to my right?
I'm not sure he is, no, because he's taken the line into St Mary's. But Marino in second place. You know, if there's any reliability problems for Gordon Shedden, he could still end up winning this race.
Well, so we've got two Scots then.
Yeah.
That are out front at the moment. That'll go down nicely when it comes to the round at the bar later on.
It does mean that Jimmie Johnson is likely to get the podium for third place as well, sharing the AC Cobra with Sean Lynn. And for Jimmie Johnson's first ever appearance at Goodwood, that would be fantastic for him to get a podium finish.
Couldn't go to a nicer guy, that's for sure. He has really absorbed himself into this revival meeting, hasn't he? Jimmie Johnson, you can definitely see him coming back again as a guest of the Duke of Richmond.
There he is, yeah.
13 car, it's not been unlucky for him, that's for sure. I'll hold my fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah, despite that little off that we saw, and as you mentioned, he'd had one in practice as well, but he is still there, and he's, because of problems for other cars, he's got a chance.
2.5 minutes to go. If we look at the time, Johnson to Franchitti is only 3 seconds. So this man, if he's got late race pace, he's got 2.5 minutes to get it done. Somehow I don't think so, but 3 seconds. If Franchitti makes a mistake or gets caught with the wrong back marker, who knows? Maybe Johnson has got a little bit more up his sleeve. The American getting used to this racetrack as every lap goes by. The 2.3671 mile Goodwood circuit.
Ironically, he's also under attack from Tom Christensen, who's taken the penalty, but is going quickly, and he might be able to get rid of some of that penalty. So this third place, as you say, is definitely not fully decided yet. So we're going to have to see how this works. But Franchitti is definitely a little slower than Johnson. So we could see some other changes.
Slower than Christensen.
Yeah. So we are possibly going to see some changes on the very last lap here. So there is Tom Christensen, who with a penalty has actually been pushed down with that 10-second penalty, but it has meant that he actually is still in the fight. Ironically, he's behind this car in terms of the actual timing list, because he is more than 10 seconds, but if he goes quick enough over the next lap or so, he might be able to get back ahead on the timing list, not just on the track.
He's only got a minute to do it. The checkered flag will be out the next time they come round with an average of 1:26 as far as a lap speed is concerned, a lap time is concerned. This will be their last opportunity. The checkered flag will be out the next time they come round. It will be made ready at the top of the tower here. We're looking out at the Girling commentary box, and this man looks like he's well on his way to taking this win. Gordon Shedden has been immaculate, but Franchitti should just about hang on in second place.
Yeah, but the interesting one is third, because Christensen is 2.4 seconds behind, and he was 2.3 seconds faster on that last lap. Christensen, if he goes absolutely flat out on this lap, he may get third from Jimmie Johnson, but as you say, Keith, I don't think there's too much doubt about who's going to win this now. Gordon Shedden, he's had to fight, but then things have fallen his way.
How many times has Shedden not had to fight? He's one of those drivers that you know he's going to take it to the max, to the end, and certainly now he's been let off the hook with the breakdown a little early on. Just 15 seconds to go, and he should just make this through to the checkered flag. It is going to be Gordon Shedden, surely.
Yeah, it's looking good for him.
A little bit of lap traffic to deal with as he comes through Woodcock Corner. We look up the track towards him now. Ben's craning his neck to the edge of the commentary booth here. The 79 car then has been absolutely immaculate.
The RAC TT Celebration race at the Revival at Goodwood is taken victory by Gordon Shedden and Andrew Smith in their AC Cobra. Well done after a fierce fight.
Oh, Christensen got it.
Wow.
Oh, no, he's just crossed the line. Hang on a minute. We're going to get a correction now. Will Franchitti? Yes, it goes back in front of him. Briefly on our monitor, Christensen
and Johnson, that was the key one. He missed out by 0.6 of a second at getting the podium, Tom Christensen, but it does mean that Jimmie Johnson has got a podium. So let's just go through that top three then. Our winner, Gordon Shedden, in the number 79 car, having shared it with Andrew Smith. In second place, the Marino Franchitti and Philip Kaduri car. There you are, on board with Marino. Congratulations to him. And I think Philip will be delighted. He had a really exciting first stint. And there in third place is Jimmie Johnson, the multiple NASCAR champion who's come from the States to race here at Goodwood for the first time in his career. He's had to learn a lot, but he's got a podium out of it with Sean Lynn together
by
in
just
that car.
0.6 of a second, Ben. So
yeah,
he was really under a lot of pressure from Tom Christensen, and he'd done everything that he could to try and pinch that podium off the American, but he wasn't able to in the end. Huff in fifth place, Prio in sixth, Burden Rowe in seventh place. Tiffany Dell came through to eighth place, it would seem, at the moment. Tiffany Dell.
Yeah, good effort, but what a great drive by Gordon Shedden in particular, taking victory with Andrew Smith. So there we are, their cars heading back, and lots of waving going on around as they celebrate. We've just seen there are a couple of other penalties coming up on our screen, but it doesn't affect any of the front runners. We always keep our eye open on that because you get all excited about a result and then it can change. But I think we've got what we've got there, and certainly this car, the number 79, taking the victory. Having started on the second row of the grid, they actually started fifth. So to come through and take the win, it was a good opening stint by Andrew Smith. He did make a mistake at one point, but then he made up for that mistake, if you remember. He got back past a couple of the cars that had passed him.
They endured a lot of pressure, yeah. There's no doubt about that. Shedden in particular, he was under extreme pressure for some. Here we go then.
We saw Darren Turner just down there. His car failed just at the end then, apparently. I didn't see it stop, but apparently the Darren Turner's car did come to a halt.
Big burnout past us here to the finish line. It is Gordon Shedden who will be receiving top honours for the RAC TT Celebration. Yeah. Still the fastest lap was Jenson Button in a 1:23.799. Some consolation for the non-finisher of their team with Harrison Newey, of course. Adrian Newey looking a little bit down in the mouth, I suppose. His Jaguar, it's his Jag, he likes his Jag, and it was going to win, it looked like.
Look at this, though, for Marino Franchitti. There's great celebrations that he has finished in second place. He's celebrating with Philip Kaduri, who did the first stint. Look how happy Philip is. That is so a lovely shot to see. What it means to these people who race at Goodwood, it always is highly emotional. And for Gordon Shedden to have taken victory there alongside Andrew Smith, that's Andrew, who did a good first stint, and they have taken victory. Look at that. What a special time for them to celebrate. And for Gordon there, with all that experience, a 3-time British Touring Car champion, he's back in British Touring Cars, winning races again this year. But I think this one will mean just as much, if not more, by winning on such a beautiful day at the Revival.
Yeah, it's a special kind of individual win, isn't it? There are certain classic meetings that you're involved in, whether you're a motorcycle racer or a car racer. You get to invited to some of these fantastic classic type events, and for Shedden to take that one, and it may have been unexpected from where they qualified as well. For, you know, every racer thinks they can win a race until they don't, but at the end of the day, to come from where he did to take that win under the pressure he was under for as long as he was under it, a great win for Shedden and Smith.
Yeah, and for the whole family too, for Franchitti, because the Cetriton Cup, we saw the Franchitti kids racing in that and doing well, and they're all now celebrating a second place finish for them. Actually, yeah, third, right, I'm just having a look at our result board that has come up.
Ooh,
it has changed.
Has as well.
It has changed.
Looks like Franchitti has picked up a...
It's interesting because it's dropped Franchitti down to third and showing Johnson as
second
fourth.
Penalty for pit lane speed, look.
Ah, okay. So we have got a little bit of a shift by the looks of things. The official timing screen is showing at the moment that the Richard Mines Rob Huff car has finished in second place,
Although
pushing...
We haven't seen the penalty for the 8 car just yet, the Franchitti car, so that's not come up on our screen here just yet, but I'm sure it will in a moment. TSL Timing are sorting that out for us, but certainly the overall finish has been altered. No doubt about the winners still.
Yep, hasn't adjusted our race winner. So that is still very much Gordon Shedden and Andrew Smith. But we are just trying to find out exactly the situation behind. And the Franchitti family can still celebrate a top 3. It just might be third rather than second. But we'll check that out.
But I don't think Jimmie Johnson will be too... happy to have been shoved off the podium, perhaps, but we'll wait to bring you the exact result as it transpires eventually here in our commentary position.
Yeah, as it stands at the moment, it certainly looks as though, well, we know that Smith and Shedden took the victory, but yes, it does look as though Rob Huff has gained that second place with Richard Mines, but we shall see. Philip Kaduri and Dario Franchitti officially showing as third, with Sean Lynn and Jimmie Johnson being shown now in fourth. Still time to enjoy and celebrate, though, what has been a very exciting time. Let's go and join the winners of the RAC TT. They're talking to David.
Gentlemen, you've got the cigars to prove it. You're now winners of the RSC TT Celebration. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling. You know, I was lucky enough to win it in an E-type in 15 and 16. So yeah, it's third time for me, which is absolutely fantastic. But what a day, what an atmosphere here today at Goodwood this weekend. And you know, Andrew left me with in a great place to go racing in the second half of that race. So absolutely delighted.
Andrew, you have been looking to win this race for a long time. You've finally done it.
Yeah, no, it's an absolutely fantastic feeling. I mean, it was, yeah, it was quite a busy start, but yeah, I managed to get tucked in behind the pack, and yeah, managed to just have a great time, and I think got it in a reasonable place for Gordon in the second half, and no, great.
Key was getting that changeover done before the safety car.
Yeah, absolutely. A really early stop. The pit lane was quite clear. We didn't get held up for too long in there. But yeah, it then means that you can set the crosshairs on the cars in front and get on with the job in hand.
That crosshairs must have been a bit wobbly because you were sideways for most of that second stint.
Oh yeah, I think you know it hardly ever goes in a straight line, this Cobra. I keep thinking the steering's broken, but apparently that's just what they're like. So yeah, you know, driving on the throttle, sideways everywhere, looks cool, make loads of smoke. What happy days, isn't it?
Absolutely, look good for us. You were chasing down Romain. Tom was right behind you and gaining. Did you feel like you had now or never a chance to take over Romain?
Yeah, I think we had just enough pace in a couple of places to kind of have a go at Romain, and yeah, round the outside into you know, the end of the back straight. Certainly took the brave pills halfway up the back straight and braked a little bit later. I don't think I want to do that too many more times, but yeah, it was effective.
Well, both gentlemen, congratulations, winners of the RSC TT Celebration.
Thank you very much.